Tristan and Rose have been together for so long that Tristan often jokes that most people don't stay married as long as they've been a couple. They met when they were teenagers, and like many young loves, their relationship had all the drama of a Mexican telenovela. They were always breaking up and making up, declaring they were just friends one minute and back together the next. This on-again, off-again romance lasted all the way through high school and beyond. After graduation, Tristan's mother decided he should attend a military university, so off he went to another city. But midway through his third year, right before exams, Tristan dropped out and moved back to his father's house. His mother, furious at his decision, declared that since he was such an adult making independent choices, he could find somewhere else to live. She practically slammed the door in his face. At that point, Tristan and Rose were only in casual contact, but when she heard he needed help, she didn't hesitate to offer it. She invited him to stay with her in her rented apartment for a while. Initially, they lived together as friends, but it wasn't long before they realized their feelings for each other ran deeper than just being roommates. Together, they faced many challenges and overcame numerous obstacles. Tristan even turned a blind eye to Rose's infidelity once. She swore it was a drunken mistake and that she loved only him. Despite everything, they stayed by each other's side, growing stronger through the trials life threw at them. Apparently, the young man loved her deeply. He often met her halfway, forgiving her betrayal. So when they celebrated their 15th wedding anniversary and were hailed as the perfect couple, Tristan would smile to himself, knowing that people had no idea what lay behind the facade of an ideal family. Not once in their life together did he reproach his wife for her drunken infidelity, though the thought occasionally nagged at him. To Tristan, it felt like they had been through hell and high water together, and nothing could come between him and his beloved. Little did he know how wrong he was. Recently, Rose had changed jobs. For a long time after graduating from university, she taught at the same institution and enjoyed it. However, when the administration changed, she was asked to leave. She didn't fret much, packed her things, and left, almost immediately finding a job as an administrator at a fitness center across the street from home. Though the pay was less, Rose had more free time and a complimentary gym membership, which she thoroughly enjoyed. Tristan couldn't be happier with his wife's transformation. She looked better than ever, no longer stressed by the constant need to submit meaningless reports. Their children also caught the fitness bug, and even Tristan himself was considering joining in. He relished these small positive changes in their family life. The only thing that bothered him was Rose's growing reluctance towards intimacy. She often claimed fatigue or stayed up late in the armchair with a book until Tristan, unable to stay awake, would fall asleep alone in their bed. She asked her husband not to take it personally and to endure this rough patch in their lives, just as they had faced all other challenges hand in hand. Tristan, of course, supported her and didn't push too hard. However, he began to notice that Rose started dressing more elegantly for work, coordinating everything down to her underwear, which always matched perfectly. One day, he casually asked her about it, and unexpectedly, she snapped at him. "I'm looking better than I ever have, and you can't just be happy for me." She retorted angrily when Tristan tried to explain that he was simply curious. "It just seems strange," he said, and she replied, "I feel better this way." She then slammed the bedroom door, leaving Tristan to sleep alone that night, refusing to let her into his bed. The truth came out in the worst possible way. One day, Tristan came home from work to find his eldest daughter lying on her bed, sobbing uncontrollably with mascara streaked down her cheeks. Alarmed, he rushed to comfort her and find out what had happened. She refused to tell him, and Tristan began to fear the worst. "Katyusha, tell Dad everything," he pleaded with his daughter. "We can handle anything together." Vanessa continued to cry, shaking her head in denial. "Did someone hurt you? Was it someone at school?" Tristan asked, increasingly worried. Again, Vanessa shook her head. He then noticed a packed sports bag lying next to the bed. Was it someone at the gym? Your coach. Vanessa looked at her father with eyes full of sorrow. She didn't know how to tell him what she had seen, or how to admit to her beloved dad that she had become an unwitting witness to her mother's betrayal. Children at 15 shouldn't have to know such painful details about their parents' lives. Gathering her strength, Vanessa began to recount the story, her voice choked with tears. Her father listened silently, staring blankly ahead, nodding thoughtlessly. At that moment, Vanessa thought he resembled one of those bobblehead dogs that sit on car dashboards, nodding with the car's movements. She understood that her father was in shock. Tristan realized he needed to keep his composure and not show his daughter the depths of despair he was falling into. It felt as if all the suppressed emotions from Rose's past betrayal were resurfacing. He was both furious and utterly devastated. Thanking Vanessa for her honesty, he did his best to calm her down and suggested taking her to a friend's house so he could talk to Rose alone. Tristan was relieved that on this particular day, his mother had taken their son out of town to the country. When he returned after dropping Vanessa off, Rose was already at home, acting as if nothing had happened. She was humming a cheerful tune in the kitchen, cooking dinner for herself. Tristan, however, was as gloomy as a storm cloud. On the way back, he kept replaying in his head the conversation he anticipated having with his wife. Now, standing in the hallway, he didn't know where to begin. It was incredibly difficult. They had never had such a heated argument in all their years of marriage. Both cried, hurling accusations and vile curses at each other. Tristan felt like he was facing a stranger, an unpleasant and cold woman he barely recognized. He couldn't believe that two people who once loved each other so deeply could now harbor such intense hatred. The marriage couldn't be saved. They parted almost amicably. Vanessa understood and didn't judge her father, but their son held a grudge, too young to grasp the situation despite Tristan and Rose's efforts to explain. Over time, Tristan unintentionally learned about his ex-wife's personal life through his mother, mutual friends, and their daughter. He knew Rose had to leave the fitness center for another job because her administrative salary wasn't enough to support herself alone. His mother mentioned she was seeing someone, but Tristan didn't inquire further. Tristan slowly adjusted to his new bachelor life. He regretted the years spent with someone who could betray him so profoundly, but he understood that nothing could be undone. That's the story. Share your thoughts about this situation and the behavior of the characters in the comments. Thank you for listening until the end, and don't forget to subscribe to the History Channel. All the best to you.